Let us start working with pig. So first we'll start pig. Remember, pig is built on top of Hadoop. Make sure that you start Hadoop before you even start pig. So Hadoop is not started. So to start Hadoop, we can write start all dot sh. This will start Hadoop. Once Hadoop is started, then only we can start pig, because all the pig Latin script, pig data flow language that we use to write pig Latin script, they will be indeed converted into MapReduce codes, and MapReduce will be on top of Hadoop. So first let us start Hadoop. Okay, Hadoop is started. Node manager, resource manager, name node, data node, secondary name node, all are started. Now let us start pig. Pig is the command. Then it will open the grunt shell. Okay. So grunt shell, you can see the grunt and the grunt shell along with the prompt. So you have the grunt shell here. Now let us try to work with some data set. First we have to move the data onto HDFS, then only we can load the data from HDFS inside pig. If you remember in Hive, that's exactly what we were doing. First you move the data onto HDFS. Hive, pig, all these tools are part of Hadoop ecosystem, and they all work with HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system. First we have to move the file onto HDFS. The file that we are going to work with is online retail sales data. Within that folder, online retail invoice.txt. Is there any data set like that already existing? Then you don't need to import it. If there is nothing like that, then you can get it. So when I wrote hadoop fs.ls, it shows an error because this is a Hadoop command, it's not a pig command. So I'll go to new terminal. In that new terminal, I will execute this command, which is Hadoop command, to see whether online retail invoice.txt is already there or not on HDFS. Online retail invoice.txt. The invoice.txt is not there, so we need to first move it. So first make sure that dataset is there in the file system. Is it there in datasets? Online retail invoice.txt. Yes, it is here in the local system inside the file system. Now we need to move it into Hadoop distributed system. So how do we do that? Hadoop fs copy from local. So I use the same command, and once I do it, then it will be moved on to Hadoop. So it is being moved to Hadoop HDFS now. Now we can see the file. So remember, this is a new terminal, it is not the same old pig terminal. So, right, so this is the retail invoice HDFS dataset is moved on to HDFS. Now we'll go back to pig. So this is the pig window. So we'll go back to pig. I'll maximize this. Now within pig, first we need to push the data onto HDFS, then we can load the data into pig. We have to use the load statement for loading the data onto pig. Once we move the data inside HDFS, then we have to use the load statement. So how do we use load statement? We are going to explain that. So this is the code syntax for that particular operation. So look at this code here. Let me close down this, minimize this window. Yeah, this is the one. Retail invoice pig equal to load retail invoice HDFS using pig storage. What exactly is this? What is the explanation of this particular code? Retail invoice pig is the relation name. It's like the dataset name or the data file name or the table name. So this is what inside pig it will be called as retail invoice pig. It can be anything, retail invoice or my data or anything. Load is a keyword. Load uses the load is used to bring the HDFS data inside pig. So you have the HDFS data set name, that is retail invoice HDFS, that we just moved. Invoice data is just moved on to HDFS. We named it as retail invoice HDFS. Now we, that is a tab delimited file, so that's why we are using pig storage tab delimited kind of function. So this using pig storage tab delimited, these are all the keywords, and this is the dataset name. So if you want to load a dataset, you need to give where the dataset exists exactly on HDFS, so that is the HDFS path or location, and then what is the format or the delimiter. So there are different type of delimiters that can be used. So basically we first push the data onto HDFS. Once the data is pushed onto HDFS, this is how we moved this data onto, or we loaded the data onto pig. So this is the relation name, retail invoice pig. Load is the keyword. This is the location where on the HDFS file that we want to load the data from the HDFS we want to load it into pig. This is the HDFS data file using this particular delimiter. There are several options like bin storage, JSON loader, pig storage, or text loader. Here we are using pig storage, and the delimiters also there are several options. We have used tab delimiter. Alright, now once we do this, it shows that the command is deprecated. That's fine, this is just a warning. So once the data set is inside pig, we can use the dump statement. Dump statement, it's kind of print, it just prints the data. So inside the relation, inside pig, the relation name is retail invoice pig. Here we don't call it as data set or data table, this is called as relation. So retail invoice pig is the relation name. So let's dump this relation or the table. So once we dump it, it will show whatever is inside that. So it just calling some Java libraries. When we say dump, finally it will just print out that data. See, it is simply printing out that retail invoice data. We discuss a relationship is a bag. A bag contains tuples. These are all tuples, right? Each row is a kind of tuple. So this is the invoice data, and it's a huge data set. So all the rows are being printed. Dump is not a good option. Why? If the data set is too big, why do you want to dump that whole data inside terminal? Why do you want to print it inside terminal? You might have to use a better command. If we are using simply dump, then it is going to lead into these kind of issues. The whole data, we have to wait until the full data is printed. It's better not to use dump. Only for small data sets we have to use dump. For bigger data sets we have other ways of getting the summary or getting the values. So basically every row is printed, almost everything is considered as this is considered as character, and the final one is considered as numeric, and then this is a tuple, all these tuples, and they are stored in a relation. Instead of dump, we can use describe. We can use describe. Describe is another keyword, another operation in pig. So if we say describe, so schema for retail invoice pig is unknown. There is no schema, automatically it has taken. So if we define along with schema, then describe will give us the schema of the table. So it's like usual describe. So let us load this table using the schema. Earlier we just loaded it as a text file, we just dumped everything inside this relation, but this time we are creating a new relation. Try to understand this code. This is new relation, that is like new table inside pig. Load statement, this is where the data is loaded from, that is HDFS data file using pig storage. As here is the schema. First one is unique ID, we should know the schema. So this will be, I mean, this will be available along with the data set. So first one is unique ID, second one is invoice number, that is a char array, third one is stock code, that is a char array, fourth one is description, which is char array, fifth one, the last column, is quantity, that is an integer. Now we are loading the data again, but inside a new relation, that is invoice pig 1. Why are we loading? But this time we are loading along with a schema. So let's load it along with schema. Loaded, very quick. Then again, now we can write describe. It will give the small description of the relation. So retail invoice 1, unique ID, char array, so the column name and the structure of the column name format. Now you can dump it. Again, dumping is not a good idea, since this is a relatively smaller file. I'm dumping it. Dump is like print option. So that is how we can start using pig. We will start pig, and then we first move the data onto HDFS, then we move it into a particular relation, and there are certain type of pig store. We have to use a specific storage function and the specific type of delimiter. So now in the next couple of topics, we are going to see some more operations that are possible inside pig. Okay.